Alright, this is going to be about this is my second car I had. At the time, I also had the big brown truck that you seen in the other video of story time. This was I bought this off the used car lot at Mitsubishi, which is now in Dothan. The dealership is now the Kia dealership, but it used to be a Mitsubishi dealership at one time. And this is when I started getting my fascination with Fast and Furious cars from the movies, the franchise. And one of my favorite cars in the franchise of Fast and Furious was Paul Walker's green Mitsubishi Eclipse in the first movie. And then in the second movie, he had that silver Skyline, Nissan Skyline in the second one for the first part of the movie. I really liked it too. So I really didn't want to copy anything, but I mean, this car could have been painted green if you wanted to go head over heels for it. But stock interior, this is what I like about my cars, is all you're going to see in these next series of videos. All my cars started out as stock. There it is, all, if I can get the lighting perfect. All stock, even the stock exhaust. Everything. Right there. And then I started modding it, but we were moving quite a bit. So started moving from house to house for quite a bit there. So I had this car for at least a year. This was back in 2005. Those were 17-inch wheels in that picture. And then I wanted to start doing sound system stuff. That's a single 15. And I had 1,000 watts on it at the time. I think this is the only picture I have of my sound system, and I never took a picture of the 212s that I had sitting in there that filled the whole trunk up. There was no space. They actually had used to be a car tuning shop on the north side of town, Dothan, and we built the custom box. I had the glare is going to get it, but this piece right here on the trunk, I had to take this off for more room because the box kind of protrude out this way, and the subs were facing inside the cab, and plus the back seat I had to do away with the back seat of the car, which was easy. I could take it in and take it out, but when I had that big exhaust system in it, this glare is just gonna get me. I started doing some engine work on it, painting, detailing, real clean. That's the stock air intake, and I just cut it down shorter, so because it didn't have really any sensors in it, O2 sensors other than up here closer to the valve body. But this was the same. This was not turbo. This was NA motor, naturally aspirated. No headers, all stock, but made them look good. I was more about the looks of the car than the performance at this point. So I was going to put me a wing on the thing for tuner style, since it's an import tuner. and my 17-inch wheels, alloys. And then I put me some custom headlights in it and taillights. I had both of these. Had the taillights and the, which you'll see somewhere in another picture. There's me standing with my wing. With all that bass I had, it vibrated that wing with all the bass. Looked good on the outside for show and bass and everything. But that was Mom's old Honda Civic that she had. Trying to get an angle where I can get this glare off the pictures. Now that's why I do it outside, but it's been quite cold. In this picture here, I drove it over to my grandpa's, is where my grandma and grandpa's house. He was a mechanic, so I came over there a lot for the mechanical side of the car, and we would work on it. And that was a 1987, 88 Crown Vic, Ford Crown Victorian LTD. Had a 5.0 Mustang engine in it. And me and my grandpa took that car, drove it around back to the shed or the shop back here, and completely rebuilt that whole motor in that car and put it back in and painted it up real nice and everything. And that car would haul butt. Just because those used to be, back in the 80s, those were police cars. And they would haul butt back then. But this is about my car. I had my little tuner muffler. This was one of them AutoZone mufflers that you buy at AutoZone now, or O'Reilly's or somewhere. And then I started putting a body kit. And here's the thing about the body kit. I never painted the car with the body kit on it. The body kit had to have a lot of fiberglass work done on it to make it fit. You can see glare is going to get me, but look at the fender. You can see right here at my fingertip. Look at the this kit was for an older model Eclipse, the 95. This was a 98, and it was one of the cheapest kits you could get. So what they had to do is put wood screws, of course, in my fenders. And they did I can't remember who did put the body kit on. They just screwed it on the car. And I rode around like that for quite a while. Even put it in a stupid car show, and I actually won a trophy for it. Oh my God, that was a funny time. I actually got a stupid trophy for this car. The way it was looking, I was like, man, I ain't even got it painted. But eventually I painted it, but I put my stock bumpers back on before I painted it. But then I did some accent cutouts to make it look like a kit, but it's the factory bumpers. And I was trying, I know you can't see nothing at night, but I was just trying this out. There's my aftermarket headlights, which I went black. And then I tried to paint this, the fiberglass was showing, so I had to repaint this thing white. And I tried to do it myself, and I got a little overspray on my brand spanking new headlights right there. You see it right here at my tip. If I can get a little closer. See if it, there you go. If I can hold it steady enough. But what I was trying to do at this nighttime shot is I had blue LED underglow all the way around the car, but I was trying to get a good picture of it, but just didn't turn out. You would have to see it. There's another picture of it, but you would have to see it in person. But when I put my stock fenders and everything back on, it really looked a lot better than this. I mean, it just ricer out this car. I don't know what I was trying to do. I was wanting to do a full on, like, import tuner car show thing, put a body kit on it and paint it and make it look all like the movies. Cause this is when Too Fast, Too Furious was coming out, or had came out, and my car was already silver, like the Skyline that Paul Walker drove in Fast 2. And he had blue neon under the car and everything, inside and out. And that's what since my car was like that, that gave me the idea to put blue neon under the thing. And those are stock brakes, as you can see. I just painted those brake caliber red, to give it that sports car look. This is my first one. First little sports car I ever had in my life. So I was trying to do the best I could. Of course, you can see my body kit not even lining up, and the door would scrape and break that piece off right there, because the door was sagging a little bit, and we had to do some adjustments on the door. Because this being a 1998 with about 100,000 miles on it. I think I got this is matched. The matched pictures of this thing. So they're all mixed up in here. I think I already showed that one. And this was later on. I got a good picture of it. Yeah, that's when I put in the car show. Right there's my up there in the dashboard, what car it was. I don't know why I did it at this time. This is before I even put a wing on the thing. When I put the wing on was just after I painted it. That was in those other pictures you saw a while ago. Some more night shots. Okay, there's when I went back and put the stock bumpers back on this thing. Of course, it should have been lowered. You can see I had a lot of gap. Looks like it's got a lift kit. Or I could have went with bigger wheels, but that's more money. And this is when I painted. I was going to try to match my front brake calipers with my back ones. So I had the crazy idea to paint my back, which was drum. Wasn't disc brakes in the back. It was drum brakes in the back. And there's the car show I put it in. There was another import tuner there and a couple muscle cars. But there's my car way back here in the back, as you can see. But yeah, I think the winner ended up going to this Trans Am. And this is when I started falling in with muscle cars. I was like, I was starting to get tired of this the tuner class lifestyle, and I started getting more drawn to muscle cars. And the car, what was drawing me in was the Firebird, the Trans Am Firebird, 2002 to a 2000 model, or 2003. T-top, had to be T-tops, but man, I like that car. I think that one won the show, and this Honda Civic right here that had nitrous, had turbo, I think it came in second, and another one, but then I just got pretty much a trophy for just being there. Hang on. Okay, yeah, I think I've already showed this picture, but I'll show it again because this is the one where I had had to get me some new headlights for my car, like I was talking about. And this is before I got my turn signals back in. I had them in a box. I had everything I took off. I had them in boxes and boxes. But then there's what I was talking about. I cut out these holes right here where these stock uh, plastic pieces went, and I took those out and I went to AutoZone and found me some good like Euro tuner style fog lights, and me and my grandpa wired those up to a toggle switch. And then I had for the windshield wipers were up here in the hood. I had the blue LED for those. And then I had 5% tint, or I don't know, it might have been 2% on this car. No, 5, because you can see through the other side over here on the driver's side. But anyway, I had blue LED lighting on the inside under the dash, and then in the back, and then up here in it was a what you call that, not a convertible, but the sunroof. And up inside that sunroof area, cause the sunroof never opened up, what I did is put me a black light up in there. So if you're wearing a white shirt or and stuff and you roll your windows down, you can look like Paul Walker as you go to a tuner meet, which used to be where Home Depot is in Dothan, which is what's that, Panera Bread place is now. That's where we used to meet. And to finish it off, I went down. I took a trip with the car down to Panama City Beach, and they had called a Spring Fling car show down there, a really big thing, where these guys would bring these competition sound systems, and there's the judging it right there. Summer Sound Systems, I think they're still in business today. This is when they started out, or around the time they were starting, back in 2005. Those were two square 12s in a box. And that was a 1998 Eclipse or 99 Eclipse like I drove, but that's what you could do with the interior of the car. I did have an exterior picture of that. And there's your 415s. There's 2 up here, and then 2 behind these amplifiers. This is in the SUV. There's amps. 415s with a ported box. TVs in the back. 410s, I think. They were in an enclosure. That was a pretty cool setup with the diamond kicker. Which you just seen an interior picture of because these are mixed up and everything. But that's how many amps he had running to those 415s. And plus the mids and highs. And Roxor Fosgate 415s. I forgot what vehicle this was in, but. And then there's my car again. That's all I got. That's it. So, of course, having this car, pull these back. Of course, I'll just fan them out a little bit, but of course, having a car like that, that's when you start wanting the street race and everything. So that's what I started doing with the car. And then, you wanted to go faster and faster and faster and really start getting more involved in it. And this car was a slow car because a 4-cylinder automatic transmission, no turbo. When then other people throwing up with them Firebird Trans Ams and Camaros and Mustangs. And that's another story coming up for the next car that I ended up getting, that I traded this car in for. But you got to subscribe and tune in for it for the next series. There's going to be multiple series of these videos coming out.